Aloha everybody and welcome back to Vision Quest Astrology. And I'm actually going to be consistent and continue on with the series I started for a change. Clap, 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 said everybody for this guy who never finishes anything. But here we are, and I'm doing it, it's happening. So what I'm finishing, or rather beginning in this case, is Pluto through the houses for the Scorpio rising. Since this is your chart ruler as a Scorpio ascendant, where Pluto's placed in the natal chart is kind of important. So we're going to be looking more into that. Last one was on the 12th house, and this one we're going to be doing Pluto in the second house for the Scorpio riser. Pluto in the second house is it's not that it's like any harder than it being in any other house. I'm not that kind of astrologer. I feel like where I like to put scare tactics on placements, but its expression here is a little bit more kind of like, because Pluto wants to it brings about a lot of destruction. Let's just say that. And obviously the second house is dealing more with our life force and our vitality and the foundation of our life, and simply that, life. And you're dealing with death with Pluto. So you lose a lot of stuff when Pluto is in your second house natally. It's kind of a theme in your life going through and carrying you through, especially this being your power planet, of like you are being shown a lot of lessons about losing, especially material items, more times than not. You might have issues with taxes, you might have issues buying a house, you might have issues with credits, like totally fucking your credit up, having a hard time getting loans and whatnot, and making money and making ends meet, and you're making more out of less is what this is trying to teach you ultimately. For a long time with this placement, it could really be easy to like kind of look around you and be like, God, I'm losing so much. So much of my life has been lost. But what Pluto here is showing you is like, knock, knock, knock on the effing door. No, that's not what's happening. I'm showing you to make less out of more. And once you get that, you actually will be more fulfilled in life. When you realize that it's not just about these material and physical possessions. It's actually about your inner worth and your emotional well-being, because Scorpio and Pluto are a lot more concerned with that, and it's not as concerned with the day-to-day normal pretty type things, your new expensive car and your get up shoes, and just the latest and newest of everything. Not to say that there's anything wrong with aspiring for those things and having nice appliances and things like that, but Pluto is saying Pluto doesn't care. That's the thing. Pluto doesn't care. It's like, that's not what I want you to know. And as a Scorpio rising, it's really trying to get you to see, let go. Let go. You are going to retrieve your power by letting go, with it being in the second house. Okay, so it's like basically by surrendering and just being like, I'm not in control of the situation. I'm not in control of these seeming events that are happening around me where things keep getting lost, things are getting stolen. I'm not making enough money. I don't value myself enough. I don't measure up. Blah 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 blah. It's when you will retrieve your power from your power planet when you stop worrying about all that bullshit. Because that's what it is. It's a bunch of bullshit. These standards that you're trying to live up to, this supposed life that you're trying to have in this material physical world, with everyone in society around you telling you what you're supposed to have, what you're supposed to eat, how much money you're supposed to make, what you're supposed to be doing. When underlying it, as you as a Scorpio ascendant, you see beyond all of that. You see beyond all of it, and so your power is getting thrown away because it's like it's in this house of material possessions. It's in this house representing everything that you're really not. And so it's kind of like, whoa, it's weird. It's kind of like a little bit wacky. But when you can see it for what it is, and these reoccurring themes that play out from it, that is really when you retrieve your power. That is when you're like, okay, hey, light bulb, I get it now. I see it. Okay, just let it go, let it go, let it flow, and then you're able to get the power part of your power planet. Because for any ascendant sign, it doesn't matter whether it's Libra, whether it's Aries, whatever your ruling planet is of that sign on your ascendant, where that planet shows up, it speaks so much about where your ascendant is expressing itself, and where a lot of the lessons that your ascendant is kind of bringing you here, because it is the life journey that you're here for. And so, yeah, that's you're in for a little bit of a catch-22 with this one. What's interesting here is that once you are able to see where your true self-worth lies, which is who you as a person, who you are as a person, who you are as an individual, and where your emotional intelligence lies. Because as a Scorpio ascendant, you have got a lot of it, a lot of emotional intelligence. That is when, and after having let go of all these ideas wrapped up in material possessions and your self-worth and all these issues with money, because God, there's a lot of issues with money with Pluto in the second house. There's so many of them. And once you let all that go, power gets retrieved. Okay. Then it's funny how it flips and kind of turns in on itself, and then all of a sudden your income starts getting better. You do start acquiring the possessions that you really do need. And you start to, things get lighter, things start to get happier, because you stopped placing your whole life on it. Your whole life stopped revolving around it. And you got the lesson of, okay, let go, flow, and you stopped resisting. And it was in that stopping of the resistance that you just allowed what was happening to happen. You took away what you needed to take away from it. It affected you. And then you learned it. And then you learn it, so then you move on to the next. Then you move on to the next. Because here in the second house, Pluto is teaching you a lot about foundation. And the moral code book that you kind of live your life upon. I will say that the second house to me in a lot of ways is our morals and who we are in our value system. Not just materially, but our actual morals and our ethics, our own individual ethical code. And I've looked around at a lot of people with this placement that have, because Pluto can be pretty shitty sometimes in its expression, and pretty vulgar and pretty crude, and sometimes really heavy Plutonic people can be like, just sometimes no sense of morals. They're just so out there. And so a lot of people with this placement sometimes live like the first half of their life that way. And then they kind of get into their 40s and 50s and realize that, oh shit, I better start making some better life decisions here. And sometimes even younger than that. And they see that, okay, this is the foundation I'm living my life from. And everything from here on out through the rest of my chart affects everything else. So how about I start here and actually make the beginning and the structure that my life is based upon something worthwhile. And if it's worthwhile and I value it and it's something good, let me put that out there and share that with other people. And then you will be amazed at the blessings that bestow upon your life from there. I think that the biggest overall theme here is that life can be a blessing or life can be a curse, depending on how you decide to handle the experiences that are given to you. Because at the end of the day, we don't choose. We don't choose the loved ones around us that die. We don't choose that our house gets foreclosed on. We don't choose that someone came and stole our car overnight. I don't know, whatever crazy things that happen with Pluto in the second house for the Scorpio rising. It can be pretty wild. And so we have no control over that. But, we can see, okay, and be like, oh fuck, I'm cursed forever, I'm doomed, all this shit keeps happening. Or we can see the blessing in it. What part of us have dreamed this up literally to show us something? And most people don't want to look at life that way, because we are really bringing the metaphysical of Pluto into the physical in the second house here. And if this is in your natal chart, you're carrying this with you for a lifetime, literally for a lifetime, and you want to master these themes. And so are you going to make it a blessing, or are you going to make it a curse? Because once you see that the curse is the blessing that, showed you how to completely re-fundamentalize your whole self-concept, how you relate to you, everything changes from there, because you're then building from the ground up for the rest of your chart, the rest of your life experiences, and then you bring in so much better of a perspective to carry you through the rest of life, no matter what juncture you are at in your journey. So I say that, and I'm going to end it that way with, you can make it a blessing or a curse depending on how you handle it. And that's really what's being asked of you here. Alrighty, my fellow astro lovers, that is Pluto in the second house for the Scorpio rising. I'm not sure which one I'm going to do next. We'll see. It's just going to kind of be a surprise. I'm liking keeping that way. This was a really fun video to make. As usual, leave any thoughts and comments in the comments below, obviously, and check out my website, visionquesthealing.com, for chart readings and for any astrological needs you want to delve into with me. Alright, thank you for watching, everybody. Much aloha and happy transiting.